Welcome to The Brain Changers, a podcast about learning how to revolutionize the way you think and live by mastering your mind. We're your hosts, mother and daughter duo Rebecca and Yvonne King from Moonbeam Monday. Our goal is to empower you to live the life you choose by teaching you how to retrain your brain. Some people tell us it sounds like mind control, and it is, but not the way you might think. This is about you taking control of your own mind rather than letting your mind control you, so you can choose to live a life free from the expectations of others. No matter what you've experienced in the past, you can create positive change and transformation by learning how to master your mind. We know this because we've done it. Between us, we've survived cancer and stroke and eliminated debilitating anxiety and depression. We've turned our pain into purpose through the power of our mind, and we're now here to support and guide you to do the same. In this podcast, we share valuable insights about how your brain works, why you think, say, and do the things you do, how to begin the process of change, and why it's necessary. Because we know that when you change your mind, you change your life. Thanks for joining us. Let's go. Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of The Brain Changers. I'm Rebecca, and today, instead of having Yvonne with me, I am excited to introduce you to a very special guest, another one of our beautiful clients who has an incredibly inspiring story of transformation. So joining us is Monica, a remarkable woman who has experienced significant and positive changes in her life since we began coaching together a couple of years ago. So Monica, welcome to The Brain Changers.
Thanks, Rebecca. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Monica, your journey of personal transformation is truly inspiring, and I know a lot of our listeners are going to take a lot from what you've got to share with us today. I've absolutely loved working with you and watching you evolve, and I'm really keen to share some of your journey with our listeners today. I know that from personal experience that when I hear the real stories, and I'm using air quotes for those who can't see us, but when I hear those real stories about people doing what I want to do or what I'm trying to achieve, I feel really inspired and motivated to do the same. So thank you for agreeing to share with our listeners today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm a marketing professional. I've had about 20 years in my profession. I'm a mum to two beautiful children. And, a big part of my life is really trying to balance that work-life balance.
Yes. Yeah, a bit of a hard job when there's lots of competing priorities, isn't there?
Sure is.
So, Mon, tell us, what was it that actually brought you to coaching in the first place?
Look, Beck, when we first met, a few years ago now, I was just feeling really stuck in my life. I was feeling really unmotivated in all areas of my life, such as my work, exercise and health, and really, what were the next steps in my life? I was procrastinating a lot, particularly at work. And that really led to a lot of anxiety for me because I am a high achiever and I really wanted to make sure that I was doing the very best I could for my clients. But I did find myself procrastinating. So I really wanted to eliminate that. And I guess the other one thing was that I really wanted more in my life, but I didn't know what more was.
Yes.
And I needed some help figuring that out.
That's quite common, isn't it? We think perhaps there's something missing from our life, but when we actually dig into it, it's like, but what is it? Why do I have this feeling of, I just describe it as that meh feeling. It's like, what else is there? Tell us, Monica, how were these things a problem for you in your life? This procrastination and this wanting more but not knowing what it was?
Look, it was affecting all areas in my life because I was constantly overthinking about work, about, what I was going to do with my life. So I found that I wasn't able to be present in my family life with my children. It also impacted my self-esteem. I thought I wasn't good enough. And I didn't know why. I didn't think I was a good enough mother, good enough partner, employee, sister, daughter. I'm as I said, I'm a high achiever and I was seeking perfection without knowing really what was perfection and what did that mean to me and my values.
Yes, that P word, that perfectionism. I know that a lot of people listening are going to really be resonating with what you're saying right now. So, can you tell us what were some of the first steps that we took together? Anything that stood out to you?
One of the first things we talked about together was really trying to identify my values and what was most important to me, and uncovering what in my current situation wasn't aligned to them, because we found that because I wasn't sure what my values were, there was a lot of conflict in my life in different areas. So I guess that was the first thing. And then a couple of key tools that you taught me. Firstly was journaling. And I go on about journaling to a lot of my friends. I was very skeptical at first, as you know. I was like, what is journaling going to do? But I found it to be so therapeutic, and it really helped to calm my overthinking. I was no, if I started to overthink, I would just write it down. And I was able to get all of my thoughts onto paper and they were there and I could leave them there. So that was a really, really helpful tool that I still do use today. Another couple of tools, and again, you'd think that they're not, anything new, but meditation and hypnotherapy recordings have been really, really great for me. I still do this every day. I do a morning meditation and I listen to a hypnotherapy recording every night. And I think that it just really helps to provide clarity in your life.
Yeah, some very powerful tools there. It's funny that you talk. I know we've had this conversation many times, and we always come back to journaling. And it's really funny that that is one that a lot of people are quite resistant to. I think some people have never written anything down. They don't see how it's going to work. And of course, when we're working together, I explain the science behind it and how it works and what's actually happening in your brain when you're journaling. And it's funny, I actually went to an event last night, a networking event, and we were talking about journaling. And one lady offered her perspective of it. When she started journaling a couple of years ago, she was very angry. She had a lot of stuff going on in her work life that was making her angry. And how it helped her was that instead of uh, showing that anger toward another person, she was actually able to put all of those angry thoughts and feelings into her journal. And so, because I know we talk about being positive and reframing and all of those types of things, but to begin with, sometimes we've got all this negative stuff that we've got to get out of our head. And our journal is actually a really good receptacle for that, isn't it?
It really is. And it really clarifies things for you, stuff that you may want to say to somebody or, scream out loud.
Yeah.
You're able to get it out. And then you think about it and really probably wasn't the right thing to say to somebody directly. So it gives you some time to really think about what it is that's bothering you and work it out from there.
Yes, the power of the pause, isn't it? It gives you that cause for pause. Thank you for sharing some of those tools and techniques. Another interesting point that you made there, we often think that these are really simple things, or how can journaling, or how can meditation, or how can hypnotherapy audios work? They're so simple. I think we're often trying to look for a more complicated solution. I know that's how I felt years and years ago when somebody first introduced me to mindfulness. You talked about being present. You weren't being present. Now you find yourself being present. And these techniques, or many of these techniques and these tools, have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And there's a reason for that. They're simple and they work. Of course, we dive a lot deeper in personal coaching and we work on root cause and limiting beliefs and all of that. But all of these simple techniques that you've shared with us have a place along the way, don't they?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So at what point do you remember feeling a change in the way that you felt?
The first change I noticed was a shift in that motivation and focus at work. I no longer was procrastinating because I had some really clear goals at work, and a contingency plan if things didn't go to that plan. And that's something that we worked on together. And it just gave me that clarity around what I needed to do, and I could just focus on my job. It felt really amazing. I recall sending you a message saying, "What did you do to me? I'm so focused. Procrastination is gone. Tick."
Yeah.
And you basically said, "I didn't do anything. You did it."
Yeah.
And it was a real aha moment.
I remember that message. I love receiving messages from my clients, and that is the truth. It's you that has done the work. I am merely a vehicle, I guess, to help you. And I have a coach as well. I have many coaches. Sometimes it's very hard for us when we are so bogged down in our day to day, when we've been living that problem or that issue, whatever you like to call it, that situation for so long. Sometimes all it takes is a different perspective from someone. And
Absolutely.
so we're doing the work ourselves, but we all need help. We all need support, especially to get through really, really tough times. So I remember that message and I loved it. And you were just kicking goals. And honestly, you are someone now that I know when we meet and we have those, let's call them clarifying sessions, you walk out with this inspiration and you're just getting things done. The messages that I get afterwards are like, right, that's done. That's not an issue anymore. Right now I know what we need to work on next time. And I absolutely love it. You're somebody who just takes the bull by the horn, so to speak, and takes action. So, Monica, can you tell us how your life has been different since you started coaching?
I absolutely feel so much more equipped to handle any situation, particularly with a real sense of calm and clarity. I'm no longer an overthinker. If I am actually stuck on something, I will journal it out. And if I need a little extra help, I'll call you and book in a session and we'll work on it together. Just as you mentioned before, the answers are inside of you. Sometimes you just need someone to ask you the right questions to help you to come to a conclusion. And I just find that so helpful because no one is perfect. No one, can make decisions on a cuff all of the time. So I've really valued the help that I've had through coaching to be able to get that clarity in my life. A couple of other things, I've got some really clear goals that I have in my life. I have my vision board and I just continually tick those goals off. It's amazing. I can't believe how quickly I've been able to tick things off almost to the day that I've suggested that I wanted to achieve something. So I think that comes with that power of changing your mindset, and believing that you can achieve something and having the steps in place to ensure that you can get there. And I think my values is also a really, really important one that has been good to help me move forward in my life. I'm present with my children because my family and love are very important values in my life. And when it comes to making decisions, I always reflect back to those values to make sure that they are aligned in order for me to make a decision. So that's really fantastic. And when it comes down to it, one of the things that I have changed in my life is that I now put myself first and I choose me. And everything that follows just aligns with my happiness, and everyone that is in my life is happy too. So I'm really, really grateful for that.
Oh, that's really wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. There's so many things in there. That values work. It is absolutely foundational, isn't it? We talk about it like building a house. You can throw some walls up and stick a roof on and a chimney, and you'll have some shelter, but if you haven't actually dug the footings and laid the slab and let it settle, if you haven't built that stable foundation, then those walls aren't going to stay up for long. They are going to come tumbling down at some point. So that's why we always work on values to begin with. And I know that's a game changer for a lot of people that we work with, and something we've spoken about in a previous episode. And I really love that you said there, because I don't know that a lot of people would say this, but you said, I choose me. And I really love that you are confident to say that, because it is about you. You know, this is your life. You're living your life to your terms, because we, as you know, and a lot of our listeners know now that they've been following along, we absorb a majority of our beliefs and our values from our parents, our caregivers, you know, people from a young age. And so until we actually stop and become aware and start thinking about whether these beliefs or these values are our own or whether they're actually somebody else's, we do tend to be living somebody else's life. So I love that you actually said, this is about me. And then the people around me, the people in my life, they see that in you. And so they have this happiness around you as well. So, Monica, what do you think your life would have been like if you hadn't have had coaching?
Look, Beck, I think I'd still be really stuck. I would have been stuck in an unhappy marriage and just going through the motions. I wouldn't have achieved the great successes that I have in my career over the last few years, which has been really important to me. I think that I would be living with anxiety still, walking on eggshells and not being able to speak my truth and not being able to put my needs and dreams first, which is a huge shift that I've had in my life since I started coaching.
Putting other people first rather than yourself was a big thing. Is that what you mean by that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do tend to do that. So it's a great thing to be able to put yourself first, but also knowing how important your children and other people are in your life as well. And
That's
having
right.
that, you said that at the beginning, having that balance.
Absolutely. And it's all about making sure that if you're the best version of yourself, then you're going to be able to give the best version of yourself to other people. And for me, it's being the best mother that I can be for my children.
We've talked a lot about all the great things in your life, and there's lots of positivity and happiness and picking goals. But people are probably wondering, is every part of your life good now?
Look, Beck, as much as my life has changed, not every day is a good day. We can't expect perfection, and I've learnt that along the way. There's always challenges that are presented in my life, but I'm able to handle them better. And the one thing that I've learned through this process is that you need to keep working on yourself. Coaching is not a silver bullet. I continue to have coaching sessions, usually bi-monthly or as I need to, as a bit of a maintenance for my mindset.
Hey there, listeners. This is Rebecca King, the Brain Changer, helping you revolutionize the way you think so you can live your life on purpose. If you're loving what you're learning here on The Brain Changers, we've got something special for you. Take back control of your own mind and truly connect with like-minded people by joining our Mind Masters Collective, a premium subscription membership for those who want to feel happy and confident again, to feel seen, heard, and valued at an incredibly affordable price. Inside, you'll gain exclusive access to a supportive community of people on the same journey as you, knowing they want something more and ready to invest in themselves to achieve it. You'll get loads of valuable resources and expert guidance on mastering your mind to help you live your absolute best life. You'll make new connections and friends that you didn't even know you needed. We'll get close and personal in monthly masterclasses with guest experts and monthly mastermind group coaching to help you navigate the challenges and celebrate the wins as you grow and change. Join us now by clicking the link in the show notes. We're all waiting excitedly for you to join us inside the collective.
One of the other things that I've done to ensure I'm maintaining a great mindset is that I've joined the Moonbeam Monday Mind Masters Collective. And that has been amazing. I've met like-minded people that are on the same journey as me to wanting to make change in their life. And we learn to continue to retrain our brain and learn new skills along the way as well. So like I said, you need to keep working on yourself. It's not a silver bullet, but it makes a huge difference as long as you are dedicated to continuing on that journey.
Yes, that's a big part of it, isn't it? It's understanding that this is not a one and done type of thing. Like there are certain issues or problems, situations, again, whatever you like to call them, that come up at a particular time, and we will work on those, and you'll see progress in how you feel about those things and how you respond in certain situations. But then there's always something new. There's a new situation or a new challenge or a new opportunity. And so this personal growth, this personal development it's a forever thing. And so I love that you mentioned your involvement in the collective. I love having you in the collective, and it's such a wonderful space. Like you said, like-minded women. It's really important that we surround ourselves with people who are on the same journey as us. I even wrote a newsletter about this yesterday. It was about an experience I had on the weekend where I literally got caught with my pants down. But luckily, I was in front of a bunch of my nearest and dearest friends. I didn't feel judged. We had a bit of a laugh. And the reason I wrote about it was talking about the importance of surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, positive people, if you like. If we're constantly surrounded by people who aren't on this journey of growth, who don't want to or don't see the need to improve anything in their lives, then that is actually going to stunt our own growth. So being part of that collective, as you mentioned, we're all in the same space. We're all on different journeys, but we're essentially moving toward the same thing. So a hugely important part of that process. So can I ask, for people who might be interested in taking that first step in making changes in their life and coaching, what was the process like?
So, look, to start with, to be honest, it was a little bit scary, particularly opening up to yourself about my worries, my problems, and some of my past traumas, because it can be very personal. But I really felt like I was in a safe space and I felt really comfortable opening up, which is fantastic.
Mm.
There were lots of tears, especially in the early days of coaching, but that was also really therapeutic because I felt like it was a real release of some difficult things to let new positive thoughts in. And I think that's really important to acknowledge your past traumas and your issues so that you can actually look at ways that you can overcome them and change your beliefs.
Mm. I love how you described that yes, there were a lot of tears. There often is when we've gotten to a point where we're a bit stuck and we're not sure what's keeping us stuck. But I love how you described it, that it kind of opened up some room for you to bring new things, new thoughts, new beliefs, new opportunities in. And as you know, the body keeps the score. So those emotions that we've held on for so many years and often suppressed, sometimes consciously, often unconsciously, they come out one way or another, don't they? It doesn't mean that they go away. They will come out at some time. Okay, so Monica, if you could sum up the transformation that coaching's created in your life in 3 words, what would they be?
3 words is hard. But look, I would say powerful. I definitely think if you're committed to coaching, it is very powerful.
Mm.
Really enlightening because you learn a lot about yourself.
Mm.
And my last word is actually 2 words, and
Okay.
it's life-changing.
Life-changing. That is a very powerful word in itself. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm guessing from all of that that it's something that you would recommend.
Absolutely. Look, it's not something that you can just go to a session and expect results to come. You really need to be willing to do the work yourself in between sessions to make the most of it.
Mm.
So I think my advice to anyone that is interested in coaching is to really commit to it, and that may be committing to 3 to 6 sessions or joining the collective to really understand how powerful coaching can be. And for me, look, the biggest benefit I've gained from coaching is self-awareness. And it's made me a better communicator. It's made me more present as a mother. And it's made me a much more happy and peaceful human.
Mm. Oh, what a beautiful state to be in.
Sure is.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for sharing all of that, Monica. I mean, I love, obviously, I'm not going to lie here. I love how complimentary you are about coaching and about the experience that you've had with us at Moonbeam Monday. But honestly, the reason we love to invite people like yourself on is because we want our listeners to hear from the people who have perhaps been where they are now, who aren't feeling terrific, who know that they want something different or something more, and they're just not sure how to get it. And you've been there and you've been through the process and you're at a whole other stage. I'm not going to say you're out the other side, you're at the end, because as we've already discussed, this is an ongoing journey, but you are in a completely different place now. And I really hope that our listeners have taken a lot from this in terms of what is possible for them. So thank you very much for sharing with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to add or any advice you'd like to give someone thinking about starting this personal growth journey?
Look, I think that, it is a big decision, but it is a very good decision to make to really change your life. Because as Beck has mentioned, there's a lot of things that you learn as a child that are ingrained in you that you don't even realize are affecting some of the decisions you make and the behaviors that you display. And really understanding some of those limiting beliefs has been a really big part of my journey and has made me a much happier person. And the great thing about it is that everyone has noticed. And,
yes,
that's a real positive when your friends and family can see that you're a much happier person, that you're much more self-aware, and that, for me particularly, I feel like I'm a much better mother being present with my children and being much happier and having a smile on my face most days.
Yes, exactly. It's that ripple effect, isn't it?
Sure is.
When we feel better with ourselves or about where we are in life, or we're feeling happier, we understand what's important to us, all of those things, that has that ripple effect. People can literally see it on our face, the way that we hold ourselves, the way that we respond rather than react. And then that has the ability to empower them to feel better, to have different energy, to think, oh, maybe I could respond in that way rather than reacting, and on it goes. So essentially what you're doing is not only changing your life, but you are changing the life of others around you. What a beautiful thing.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Monica. It's been a privilege to share this time with you. And thank you to our audience for listening. And as always, remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Brain Changers. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation today. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest episodes. Our mission is to reach as many people as possible to help them revolutionize the way they think so they can change their brain and create profound transformation. Please help us broaden our reach by sharing this episode with someone you know will benefit. And remember to tag us on socials at Moonbeam Monday and leave a review. And remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. We'll catch you next time for another episode of The Brain Changers.